Hey, how's it? Gonna do some programming today, I guess. I don't know. I have my air purifiers on, so it might be kind of loud. Does it sound loud? I don't know. Maybe I should turn it off, but I don't know if I'm gonna be talking that much on this stream. I kind of just wanted to program. This past few days I've just been working on this vtubestudio API in Rust. And there's no background music. I don't know. Maybe I should turn on background music. Let's do that. Let's actually put on some background music. Maybe I should turn it off. I don't know. I have no plans for this stream. I was just gonna go program. You guys can just watch me program. This is gonna be kind of boring. All right, let me actually. I can explain what I have going on. So this is. Oh, I'm close to peaking the mic. I think the noise cancellation is it's kind of messing things up. All right, let me turn off the air purifier then. 1 second. All right, what about now? Should be better, I think. Okay, so let me add the where is this? The media source. Oh, I should maybe use a different song. I use this song like all the time. Let me change it. Let's see what other songs I have. Can you hear the keyboard when I'm typing? Yeah, it's a good song. I just think I should maybe have a different song. Okay, what about this one? It looks kind of loud. It's really loud. That's super loud. Oh shoot. Okay. Hold on. What about now? This. What about now? Is this good? I should probably like have a playlist of BGM, so it's not just one song. I don't know. Alright, I need to recalibrate vtubestudio. You know, I wasn't planning on talking at all, but I feel like I don't know, now that I've started streaming, I'm like I should probably talk, I don't know. Alright, so basically, I've installed Firefox as a separate browser, just so that I can screen share it and not be worried about showing like my emails or anything. Let's search for vtubestudio. So this browser has none of my history. Alright, so this is the API. vtubestudio has an API, and there's a bunch of clients for it. This one's for JavaScript. A lot of other ones. There isn't one for Rust. There's probably not that many developers using Rust and vtubestudio, but I'm just like, I needed to find something to program. And I was like, oh, maybe I should try doing this. And then I did, and then I fell into this rabbit hole where every time I program something, I get like really into it. I like obsess over API design and spend multiple days thinking of like, how do I best structure this so that it's like generic as possible and can be used by everyone, even though I'm the only person who's going to use it. But anyway, here's the API. It's a WebSocket API that listens on this port on localhost. It sends text. Oh, it can also send binary, but currently it's just accepting text messages, and it's a bunch of JSON. So every request looks kind of like this, right? So you have a API name. Oh, the BGM is not looping. Hold on. Gotta loop that BGM. Properties. Loop. So you send a request. It has all these fields are common. There's a message type. Sometimes there's a payload in the data field, and you try to parse it. So there's like authentication and all that built in. So the wrapper that I'm writing in Rust is basically just turns all these stuff into Rust structs, and then you have a client where you can send the data. But you don't have to deal with like, you know, parsing message type or parsing request ID to make sure it matches. The way it works is like it's a WebSocket API, but it's sort of like request response driven. So you send a request, you give it a request ID. It has this whatever you put in here, you'll get a response with the request ID like here. And that's pretty standard. You have to like, you know, try to parse it and all that. But it's a bit annoying to do it in Rust. I saw that there was a library called Tokyo Tower Multiplex that does it for you. So what you do is you give it a tag store, which is like assign tag, finish tag. Assign tag is like you get the request and you like put an ID in it. In this case, for example, you give it an object that's like this, or like this, but the request ID is blank. And then assign tag will like generate a tag for you, and then make sure that when the incoming message comes in, it'll match your request to the response. So there's a bunch of descriptions here about how it's set up. There's also a UDP API that I'm not going to be using. There's all these like authentication requests and all that. So what I did in my code is I just sort of mapped all these requests and responses, and I was doing it and it was kind of really verbose. So what I did was I developed a macro that sort of automates a lot of this. So there's a website I think called like Transform. What is it? Something like this. No, not this one. This one. Transform Tools, which was really useful. You kind of just copy the entire JSON, you put it in here, and it'll like generate this stuff for you. So I just like copy pasted all these request responses. So like you have something like this, and just copied it. One thing that's annoying about the API is that ID is like the capital D. Serde in Rust has a thing that automatically converts camel case to snake case for you. So in Rust, everything by default is uses underscores for camel case. And so Serde as a library has this camel case helper where it'll automatically convert your field names to camel case compliant. But it's kind of annoying with like IDs. Usually you'll want it like this. Oh, I can't edit this. You have usually something like, I'm gonna put in the URL bar here. Like instead of the D being capitalized, it's like lowercase d, but a bit annoying. So you have to like rename it. It's a little bit like protobuf, not really. Oh yeah, the structure. This is just a standard Rust struct, but with protobuf, yeah, you have like a field name, IDs, and all that. Serde is like a Rust library that's often used for like serialization and deserialization. So it's like protocol agnostic, which is pretty nice. You write one Serde definition and you can read it in like JSON or YAML or whatever. Fortunately, protobuf is not supported with Serde because the way protobuf works is that the values are tagged with like an integer ID, and this one assumes you have like field names and stuff like that. Bson. All you understand is Control C, Control V. Yeah, you just copy paste the code. Anyway, so you got this. So basically, I mapped all these to Rust structs, and then there's a bunch of nice documentation here about how to use it. And so it's pretty nice using this tool to do it. You can also, if you wanted to generate stuff for other languages, it's pretty nice. On the left side here, you can, say you want to make a Scala case class, you can do that. What is it, TypeScript? There's probably like some TypeScript generator. Yeah, you can generate types here. And then basically, another annoying part is that type is a reserved keyword in Rust. So if you have this type here, you have to like rename it, like type underscore, like TYP or whatever. It's a bit annoying, but it's fine. Anyway, so going to the code that I have, this is so far I've talked about the data, which is all the fields. There is a request envelope, which is like has the API name response. Request ID, which is optional. And you can see here, I basically just copied this from what was there before. The API name and version are usually constant, so I just hard-coded them here. And then cow is a convention in Rust where you're copying on, or clone on write. So this value can either be an owned or borrowed string. Most of the time it's going to be static, so I just use cow borrowed. And then I just set request ID to none. Yeah, this is just a serialization or deserialization of vtubestudios like request response structure. So you have the envelope here, the timestamp. That's like map all the values to different numerical things, because since it's JSON, everything by default is like a float for numbers. But obviously some of these fields are not, and some of them are optional. And usually in languages like JavaScript, you don't really care, right? You can be null or whatever, but in more type-safe languages, you have options and other things like that. There's a macro that I wrote for try from. It's probably going to be kind of hard to read, but especially for people who don't know Rust, I guess. I'm just going to ignore that for a second. I have this macro for defining request and response pairs. Normally you'd have to like type all this out one by one, which is a bit annoying. But I have this macro that you pass it, you know, the Rust name, the request name, and response name in the JSON. Some of the requests don't accept data, so I just have this empty field. And some of them don't return data, so that, you know, you have this empty object. But here you specify all the fields. Basically just copied it from that website that I just showed. And this will basically just generate a bunch of code. So you see here, everything's usually, like if you go into the API in Firefox, everything's like pretty structured in the sense that like you have a request and response. So like, you know, you have a request called API state request. The response is always going to be like API state response. So you have like this field. And then so in the Rust code, I basically just specified the previous part. And then some of it, like in Rust, convention is for acronyms to type them like this, but vtubestudio has them like this. I just have it renamed. Basically, yeah, so this generates all the case classes that I need. And if I go to, let's see, if I go to the generated code here, so these are the Rust docs that are generated by in Rust. So all the data here, all these responses and requests are generated. Alright, so this one has no data, it's just an empty struct. But you can have stuff like, let's say hotkey trigger request. Accepts a hotkey ID, which is a string. And then for all these, I implemented a... So here's a try from implementation. So you have a request data enum that has all the variants. So these are like all the possible requests you can make. And then it's a bit verbose, but you have a into try from. So like if you have if you get this response back, you can try to parse it into the specific request, because you know when you're sending a request, you want to make sure that the response you get is the same type as the thing you got back. What editors? This is NeoVim. I use a bunch of plugins. I could probably explain it later, but so anyway, going back here, I have a to define something. I forget where it was. Request. I should have a trait called request. That's right here. Okay. So here's all the requests. And each request has an associated response type. So this is like in type-safe programming, or like type-level programming. You want it so that, you know, you give it a type T, you expect to get back response T : response. And then there's a message type, which is the stringified version. Yeah, I've never really used Sublime. I mostly I've been using Vim since like college. I was forcing myself to use Vim because I heard it was good and efficient, so I spent a lot of time trying to learn it, and then I did, and it's really good. Also learning Rust, yes. So anyway, that's the API layer, which was pretty straightforward. There's probably a bit more that I could do to make it more you know, they're adding new fields and new structs and stuff like that. They want to make it sure that users of the libraries aren't forced to use whatever version that I've, you know, happened to publish at the time. I also tried learning Emacs. I'm not, you know, not good at it. But then I was kind of like, I don't know, I already know Vim. There's no point in me trying to learn Emacs. Anyway, so other than that, I've also specified a API transport, which is like an abstraction over the WebSocket thing. So usually in a bunch of languages, you know, you have a bunch of different libraries for WebSockets. And I want to make it so that this one isn't like you're not requiring the user to use a specific library. So I have this codec called message codec. And it basically just is a description of how to convert your WebSocket message to like just a string. So vtubestudio API sends a bunch of strings, and you want to parse it. So if you have something like Tungstenite is a WebSocket library for Rust. It's named that because I think the thing for Tungstenite is like WS, which Tungstenite is WS2, which is like a WS stands for WebSocket. We're trying to be funny. So Tungstenite has a message. So WebSocket messages can come in like one of these flavors. You have a text, binary, these. So I wanted to make it so that, you know, the vtubestudio sends you text messages, but it could also send a bunch of pings, and you want to ignore those. So in my setup here, let's see this one. Decode, you get the message, and you can return an option of string. So if you want to ignore it, just return none, otherwise return some of the string. And you have an encode, give it a JSON string, turn it into a message. Oh yeah, the QA250, yeah. I could go over that later. So here's a codec describing how Tungstenite can parse the messages. It's pretty simple. You give it a message. So this is the message. Should probably turn on night mode in this. Not burn your eyes. So you got this codec. There's no fields, it's just a wrapper, or just a unit struct. You decode the message, so if in Rust you can do pattern matching like this. So like if it matches a text message, return sum of s, just extract this field. Otherwise return none, and then to encode you just make a text message with that field in it. So going back to the Rust code. Yeah, the local doc is auto-generate. You can run something called so cargo is a standard build tool for Rust. You can run cargo doc and it will generate it for you in the folder. So target doc. It generates like all the docs are all your dependencies. So if you go to like say this one, you'll see like I depend on a library, and it'll include like all the like dependencies of my crate. But yeah, Rust docs are really nice. I haven't added any like doc comments, but I probably should at some point because I intend for other people to use this. Anyway, so going back to the library. Here's all the, well, here's the data. I wrote a few tests. So usually in Rust you can do cargo test. And you can have your tests like in the same file as you're defining stuff. So they're right here. You can also have a test folder for all your tests, but for small tests like this, I usually like having them in the same file. So yeah, there's a bunch of tests here for like making sure you're parsing the JSON correctly, or like returning request and response pairs. Yeah, this is the NeoVim. Alright, so here's so after the docs, or after the data, I have what's described as a transport, which in Rust, a lot of people use a library called Tokio, T-O-K-I-O, for like networking I/O stuff. So Tokio has what's called a transport. I think that's just what the internal libraries call it, but a transport is just a sink and a stream. So a sink is like where you send messages into. You can fail, so a sink has a response, an OK type and an error type. And then it also has to implement a stream, which is like you can read messages asynchronously. And so I've defined here what's called an API transport, which sort of like is a wrapper on top of whatever transport you have set. So if you go back to the Tungstenite library, Tungstenite Tokio. There's a Tokio Tungstenite library. And it defines a WebSocket stream. And this implements sync and stream for WebSocket stream. So this is so what I have here is a wrapper on top of that. So since it's protocol agnostic, or like library agnostic, assuming you're using some variant of Tokio, there's you wrap API transport, you have the message type and the message codec. And then this is just these are just some required methods for sync. And so you're just converting, these fields. You're mapping the error type to like some transport error. This is probably not making sense to anyone who doesn't already know Rust, but I just want to talk through this because I've been programming this for like the past 4 or 5 days. Do you actually use it instead of using normal Vim? Yeah, I used to use normal Vim. I don't use a lot of features of NeoVim, but it's pretty easy enough to install. It's like backwards compatible. The only difference is that you don't have like the config conforms to a different spec, like it's located somewhere else. Okay, so I can talk about my Nix setup. This is how I have set up my entire development environment. It's all like version control, which is nice. I have like this is like unrelated to what I'm programming. I just thought I should mention it for anyone who's curious about Nix. So I have all my NeoVim config set up here. I have a vimrc, which is like a bunch of stuff that I've accumulated over time. This is the Vim, or the, what is it? Nix setup that has all my like plugins and all that. I have a few optional plugins. And have a Rust analyzer installed and a Rust format. feel like my voice is kind of shaky. I don't know what's going on there. Pretend to understand what I'm saying using Python and Java. This is very different. So I have like, you know, I have my JavaScript set up in here. You know, saying that I want to install Node.js, want to install, you know, Yarn, whatever. Here's my Z shell setup. Installed a bunch of aliases. Here's my Rust. I have my Rust setup. Just tell what version of Rust I want. And all this, the nice thing about Nix is that everything is, you know, stateless, I guess. You can describe exactly what you want and then you'll install it. I'm planning on putting this on GitHub. Well, this repo's on GitHub. The vtubestudio one, I'm going to put it public once it's available. Or like once I'm satisfied with how it's going. Right now, I don't know. It's still in progress. I've like refactored a bunch of stuff. Like if I go into git logs, I've had like a lot of refactors. I'm on a branch called refactor transport. I should probably like merge this. Let me push. All right, I'm gonna merge the PR on GitHub in Chrome, not in Firefox. Okay. So let's see. Go to the branch. You guys can't see this because it's private, but I'm gonna merge it soon. Okay, refactor. I did a refactor because a lot of the setup for like Tokyo, or the Tokyo wrapper library that I'm using, exposes the errors in a really weird way where it depends on the sync and stream type. I just wanted to like, you know, make it simpler for users. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna put up this PR. Let's put it. Usually when I put up a PR, I always like review my own PR. Even though I'm the only one working on this, I look over the code to see what I changed. I know a lot of people like at work, they'll put up a PR and like not actually look at any of it. And there's like obvious errors in it, or like it doesn't compile. All right, so let's see, put up the PR. Okay, and API. Can you guys hear my typing, like when I'm typing stuff? Like when I'm doing this, you guys hear it? I don't know if like the mic is like not sensitive enough, or like it's too far away from the keyboard. Alright, add API transport. It's on and off. Oh. Alright, whatever. It's fine. They have like some noise cancellation in OBS, so it might be canceling it out. Let's choose a different song. Getting kind of tired of this one. Let's see. New song. I kind of wanted to like just play music on Spotify, but like, you know, it's gonna get DMCA claimed. Usually when I program, I'm either like listening to a stream in the background or something on Spotify. And I don't have the setup like Ame does, where she has like a bubble bot on Twitch. Anyway, I'm just reviewing my PR. Okay, so we got. Also, usually when I do PRs, you might notice in my like Vim setup, I have these lines, right? You're like, what the heck are those? This tells you how far you are in the line. So this is like at 72 characters, you get this line. At 80 characters, you get this line. 90, you get this one. 100, you get this one. So usually when I'm putting PRs, like on GitHub, I will do something like this. This is not actual code, but I will like format it to make sure that my PR description fits in this line. Because Git convention is usually for descriptions, it should be under 72 characters per, per line. And whoops. 120 characters is too much. I like try to keep everything. Well, the thing about Rust is also there's Rust format, so it'll automatically reformat stuff for you. So let's say I do something like this, right? I'm like, oh, look at this, I'm really cool. I'm gonna put everything on one line. I have Rust format running in the background. Like every time a file changes, you'll see it like recompile. And I go back, it's fixed itself. It's like, how dare you put this much stuff on a line? So yeah, it's pretty nice. Anyway. On Nix, you have git config separate from other project. Does it mean to call both of them, or can you do one? Wait, what do you mean? I have git config separate from other project. I don't know, for Nix I'm using what's called Home Manager, which is if I have different machines, I just put a different symlink in here. So this is my current machine. You see it down here. The name of my machine. This is an Aikatsu unit. And here's all the description of everything on this machine. So go default.nix. I've like included all my imports, all the stuff that I want installed. I have here's my email address. Oh no, it's in all my Git messages. You can find it there. Here's a bunch of packages that I want install. This one's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys are aware of TLDR. It's, TLDR, like it'll describe how to do stuff for you. So if you forget how to use like tar, just type TLDR tar, and it'll tell stuff for you. Is that something manually added in your vimrc? You mean the thing that auto formats your code? This is there's a tool called Cargo Watch that I use. You just give it a command that you want to run, and then every time a file changes in that directory, it'll just rerun it for you. So I have it like every file change, run format all, and then it'll check all examples. So Rust has two different types of checks. One of them is just a check, which is quick like compilation check. And then you have build that actually builds a runnable executable. Check runs a lot faster. Oh, the line length markers. That one I have specified in my vimrc. So in Vim, let's see, 70. If I search for 72, Yeah, there's a thing called color column in Vim that you can use to... I'm like blocking it. To tell it like where you want the columns. So I just set it that way. Yeah, cargo watch is nice. Anyway, I've gotten really off topic. Okay. Actually, okay, so someone mentioned the let's see, what is this? The QA250G GJ whatever thing. So to explain that, I think last week one of my coworkers had this issue where he had like a text file that was full of you know, different IDs. Like it was like this, right? 1, 2, 3. Whatever, up to like 5,000. He had like 5,000 IDs in this file. They're not like 1, 2, 3, they're like actual IDs. And he like needed to batch them up into like groups of 250. And he was like, because he was trying to send, run some job. He didn't want to like send 5,000 IDs at the same time because it would like overwhelm the system. And he was like, oh, how do you like join, how do I batch them up to have like 250 things per line? Let me generate a file that has like 5,000 lines. Oops. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, so QA. So I told it to run this thing 5,000 times. Probably should have... Okay, there you go. So here's a file with 5,000 IDs. Right, so he wanted to have like, you know, up to 250. And so basically the way I would do it is you would record a macro in Vim. You press Q to start recording the macro, QA, and then 250 G, capital J. So it does that. You press J again, Q, 19. And there you go. And you got everything like 250 things per line. Anyway, I used to do Vim Golf. It's a thing where you try to get a request or like a input and output in as few characters as possible. So this feels like the kind of question that would be on Vim Golf. Like, oh, how do you group everything in groups of 250? All right. Anyway, I was gonna program. I'm gonna go program something. Oh yeah, I was gonna put up the PR. I forgot. Okay, rather than oh no. Let's go into format. I feel like when I'm streaming, I like forget. Just forget things. Okay. Refactor API transport. I'm gonna merge this PR. Alright, I've merged it. We do it. I also have this this thing called git delete squash that deletes a branch after it's been merged. So you look in my Nix config, I have a shell script called delete squash.sh, which is based on this GitHub repo, but it just goes through all your branches and finds which ones have been merged, and then it'll delete them. I haven't like done any actual programming this stream yet. I've just been like explaining what I'm doing. Anyway, here's an example of running it. I'm inside vtubestudio right now, so if I run it, it should do something right. The thing about Rust also is that if you put your examples in an example folder, they're actually runnable. If you do cargo run -- example, and then the name of the example, it will actually compile and run it for you, which is nice, with like all your dependencies. So this example, what it does is connects to the port. It sends an API state request and an available models request. This one requires authentication, or this one does not require authentication. And then we should expect this one to succeed. And here's the output. You know, we send an API request, we get the response back successfully. The second thing we do is we send a authentication request with an invalid auth token, 123. And we see that it should fail. So you get this error back, authentication request failed, invalid token. And then we try to do another request even though we failed. So we expect to get an error. And then we get that. Why do you do that? I don't like. Yeah, there's if you have too many branches that have already been merged, there's like no point in keeping them around, right? You can still find them in the history. Like I usually work on like at work, people will just push random stuff to master, and then once they merge it, they never like delete the branch. So if you're working off like the actual upstream branch or the actual upstream repo, like without forking it, you'll have like, 50 different branches and they're all outdated. But I just run, delete squash and it'll delete them for me. GitHub has it built in actually. If you merge a pull request, usually it will give you an option to delete the branch. Sometimes people don't do it. There's an option to do it automatically though, which is useful. Anyway, it's been 45 minutes, I should drink water, or run. Alright, so I said in the description that I would not be making an attempt to be entertaining, but I've been talking, this whole time. Alright, so now I've merged the branch. What am I doing? Let's see. Now that I'm streaming, I'm like, I forget what I was going to do. Oh, I was going to do another small refactor of the client. Let's see, so you have... the problem with like programming with trying to be as generic as possible, you have like really annoying type bounds like this. And it's hard to tell what the actual type of T is because there's so many restrictions on it. Usually it's just like look at this annoying type. You have a multiplex client that has like 3 fields or 3 nested type parameters, and then the second one is like, an error that has something based on T. Alright. So I was going to refactor this. I want to have client implement what's called a Tokyo service, or tower service. Oh, I have actual spam bots. Whoa, I'm like a real YouTuber now. Look at this. Yeah, let's go. Actual spam bots. Wow. But you can still see their name in the chat, which is a bit annoying. All right. Well, anyway, Yeah. Can I just like delete the actual message? Delete. Might have to add CSS. Maybe. I think it's because I'm logged in as myself and I can see what messages have been deleted. Or not, I don't know. Oh, on stream. Oh, yeah. Well, probably. There's probably like some class that... I don't know. Anyway, this is the part of the stream where I'm gonna like stop talking unless you guys have questions. I'm just gonna code. Might even like turn off my mic unless I'm like talking. Alright, so yeah. I feel like I'm mostly doing this for the watch hours, because I mentioned this a lot. You need 4,000 watch hours to be monetized. I have no real like need for the money. I just like it's nice to have something to work towards. Like, you know, I've been streaming for several months, and it's like, you know, you look at the number go up. I have a 3,200 watch hours out of 4,000. So almost there. I feel like every stream I make like 60 hours. So in like 10, somewhere between 10 and 15 streams, I will reach the 4,000 threshold. You guys just leave this on in the background to give me your watch hours. I got 21 viewers. Nice. This is more viewers than I usually get, and this is like my boring content. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna write some code. All right, let's go to. Yeah, I think it's also nice to watch people code. Usually, like, if I watch a coworker, like, use their text editor, I'm like, oh, you can do that. Like, usually if I have a coworker who uses Vim, which I don't anymore, everyone just uses an IDE. But before, I used to have a coworker who, you know, was pretty good at programming. He would use Vim a lot, and he would share tips about, you know, oh, you can do this. Here's this plugin that I found. It's pretty nice. And so I just watch him code, and he's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. And then he'll teach me how to do it. So it's good content. Also, writing like generic code like this, you get like really annoying error messages like this. The types are so nested, and you're like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Adulting. Also, a lot of programming is just like me sitting here, like, looking at the error message and thinking, so this might not be that interesting. Oh yeah, another cool thing about Vim, a lot of people probably don't know this. You can do earlier, there's commands called earlier and later. Like this right here. This will update your file to be the state that it was. Like earlier 30 minutes, it'll restore the state of your file to what it was 30 minutes ago, which is cool. Usually like, you'll have like an undo tree, like a redo tree, but this is just like an absolute point in time relative to where you are now. So if I do this, let me save this first. This is now the state of the file as it was 30 minutes ago. You can go back like later. And this is what I have now. So if I wanted to see like what this file was like, you know, a day ago, I don't know. So let's do like 30 hours ago. This is what the file was like 30 hours ago. Yeah, the thing about like using like Vim for the first time is that you're gonna have like a lot of time where like you're not efficient. Like you'll try to type something and be like, oh, I could have done this in, you know, 30 seconds in whatever IDE I was using before. I think luckily for me, when I first started learning Vim was when I was in college, and it didn't really matter that I was coding slow. And so I was just like, you know, do a project in school, and I mean, it has a deadline, but the deadline's usually pretty far. I would just like learn how to do stuff in Vim. Usually the way it goes is like, you type something like, and it feels repetitive, and then you're thinking, there's probably a better way to do this. And then you search online for how to do it, and there usually is a way to do it. There's something called vtuber. If you just run it, if you have Vim installed, like not via this weird Nick setup I have. I mean, the way I have it set up, it's like, it's not working, but in normal Vim installations, you'll have vtuber. And it'll just be like an interactive exercise for how to use it. Why did I make my glasses neon green? I don't know, just chose a color that would stand out, I guess. No real reason. It looks nice though. Also, with the vtubestudio API, you can actually recolor stuff. If you go to like this. You can color stuff on the fly, but I haven't tried doing it. You need to like know the ID or like a matcher. There's also a thing where if you set this param, it'll make it rainbow colored. It'll like cycle between the different colors of the rainbow. There's some VTubers who use that. Yeah, it's like an animation. The color will like, if you know in Minecraft there's like a Minecraft sheep called Jeb. I'm like looking it up right now. Minecraft Jeb sheep. This one. Oh god, there's an ad. Since I just installed Firefox on here, I don't have an ad blocker. Yeah, Jeb. Oh god, there's so many ads on this site. Jeb. It's probably like a gift. Yeah, it's not exactly like that. Yeah, it's like this. It's like the sheep. So the Jeb param in vtubestudio tint your whatever model to be like that. I hate how fandom just like the website just kind of sucks. It used to be called like what is it, Wikia? And it's just weird they call it fandom because some of the wikis were not really like fan themed. There's like a Vim Wikia, and it's like was renamed to fandom, and just like it doesn't make sense at all to have like a Vim fandom. I don't know. I'm gonna change the background music again. Let's add some variety. I wish there was a way in OBS to have it like add like a playlist of songs instead of just like one. Where's this song? Oh. I've not seen the Touhou wiki in a long time. It was originally started by one of the original Wikipedia people. You always get like these things on Wikipedia asking you to donate, like every year. And if you donate once, they'll like email you every single year, being like, "Hey, we saw you donated back in 2015. You want to donate again?" And so I looked it up. Apparently, like a lot of the money that your donations go to just goes to like the CEO, and like not much on actually improving the site. I mean, they get a lot of money apparently. Yeah, Jimmy Wales. Anyway, yeah, I was programming something. Yeah, look at this compilation error. And try to make sense of this. Oh god. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how they spend their money. There's probably like some breakdown somewhere. That's always like something to be concerned about when you're donating to a charity. Like, how much of the money is actually going to, you know, the thing that the charity was made for versus going to just a bunch of people in charge. That was also one of the concerns of like when Ame had her charity stream. She was like, you know, maybe not all the money actually goes where they want it to go, but you know, it was too late to choose a different charity. Oh well. Oh no, I'm just not talking. This is just quietly programming. There's a plugin for showing type in let called. Oh, this thing. This is the, what is it? In my Vim. There's this thing called COC. It's like a, I forget what it stands for. Something like Conqueror of Completion. And there's a Rust Analyzer plugin for it. Usually, if you're using a new version of NeoVim 0.5, you don't actually need this. But if you go, this is the plugin. It basically uses the same like plugin system as VS Code. So like a lot of stuff that people have built for VS Code is just reused here, and you can use it inside Vim. And you install like different extensions for it, like the Rust one is in here, but I have specified in my NeoVim setup. So I just tell it, you know, the path to Rust Analyzer is here, and then it'll just automatically pick it up. Usually I avoid setting up stuff like this because every time you go to like a different environment, you have to like, you know, make sure you have this thing set up, make sure you have this plugin installed. You know, you have to install Node.js to get this thing to run. But with Nix, you can specify like every dependency, and it'll just get them for you. I have the same thing for like a Tmux setup. Usually I avoid it using Tmux plugins, but with Nix it's really easy. They're just like built-in copy. Blah. I can't talk. These are the different plugins you can use. And you can just specify your settings and it'll like generate a config file for you. Anyway, yeah, that's useful. Oh man, spam bots. Wow. I've made it. The spam bots saw my cumulative watch hours going up, and they're like, this guy's gonna get monetized. We gotta get on this. Yeah, I don't know how the bots even found this stream. Usually, like, if you're playing like Minecraft or like some popular game, there's probably higher chance that you'll get spammers, but I don't know. You know, I don't really know much about Rust, the actual game itself. I just know, like, on the Rust subreddit, sometimes you'll get people posting about the game itself. And they're like, oh, how do I fight this enemy, or how do I do this thing? And then people are just like, this is the programming forum for Rust, the programming language, right? And they're like, oh, sorry. And then they just leave. But then there's some times when, like, people will post about, like, Rust game development. Like, I made this Rust game. And people are like, did you mean to put this in the Rust game subreddit? They're like, no, I made a game in the language Rust. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, computer science is just like a lot of like algorithms and things like that. And in real life, in actual jobs, you don't usually use a lot of you'll just import a library that does the algorithm for you and just trust that it does whatever it says it does correctly. Or like you'll use it in interviews. If you're interviewing at a company, sometimes they'll be like, how do you invert a binary tree? And you're just like, I don't know. This is the kind of stuff that you only ever need to know in interview situations. Yeah, usually just like look it up on Stack Overflow. Be like, how do I do this? And then copy paste the answer. Man, the spam bots are really going all out, huh? Dang. Why do I use Rust instead of native C++? I've never learned C++, so I don't know. I mean, I used C++ in college once. And I don't know. I didn't really get into it. Yeah, I've reported the bots. Wow. I need to figure out what CSS I need to add to hide the thing from this chat view. I feel like I like Rust because it has a lot of I mean, like the borrow checker is a nice thing. It also has a lot of like functional programming concepts. It has like algebraic data types. The enums are nice. Syntax, like the syntax is not really a big deal, right? A lot of languages have similar syntax. Yeah, you shouldn't really judge a language by the syntax. Like, a lot of languages, they look very similar. You know, a language has braces. Language has parentheses. Has the double colons. But also C++ is like, it's been around for a long time, so it kind of have like inherit a lot of the like legacy issues that you've had. Like, it has to be compatible with like C++ from like 20 years ago, and you're just building on that. But for more like newer languages, they don't have much of the like legacy stuff they have to deal with. Like in Rust, there's no like null pointers unless you specifically like are using unsafe code or opt into it. There's nice things like that. I feel like I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of languages, and I feel like Rust has the highest learning curve. Like I think if you just go to like my GitHub repo, like my GitHub profile, like my all my top like popular repositories are in different languages, like Scala, OCaml, JavaScript, TypeScript, Rust. I feel like so far Rust is like the one that took the longest to learn because there's so many new concepts. Like languages don't typically have a borrow checker or like a lot of stuff that Rust has. I mean, OCaml is also pretty nice. I like the error handling in OCaml. But I think the ecosystem is also a thing. Like for C++, it's been around for a while in the sense that you don't have I don't know, there's probably like some C++ package manager, but in Rust everything's like uses cargo and crates. I don't know anything about Agda. Yeah, cargo is really nice. Like I use like at work we use Scala, right? But it's nice, but since it inherits from like the JVM, like all the Java stuff, you have to like deal with interoperability errors and like, you know, Scala has null pointers because Java had them, and you'll get, you know, a whole class of issues with the fact that you have to like be compatible with legacy code. Like I also like TypeScript, but the fact that it's based on JavaScript and has to maintain compatibility. There's like a lot of like annoying stuff in JavaScript that you have to deal with in TypeScript now. There's like something like Rust, it's like written like it's like its new own thing, and there's like better convention and stuff. Yeah, I also learned Java in college, and I really did not like it. I think because back then I was used to like, you know, just you could write things in a text editor, and like Vim is so not Vim, Java is so verbose. Like you want to define a simple object, you have to have like a separate file. You have to have like getters and setters, and like you kind of have to use an IDE if you want to use Java. Because there's like so much boilerplate. But at work sometimes we still have to deal with Java because you know, we have stuff in Scala, but we have like a legacy Java monolithic app. And every time you have to like deal with Java, it's just like, oh god, I don't want to do this. Yeah, I also learned Python in college. It's okay, I guess. I think like after having used a lot of like compiled languages with like strong type systems, I find it kind of hard to go back because I like to the nice thing about compiled languages that have like type systems like Rust is that usually like assuming your business logic is correct, usually like if you write it and it compiles, like usually it will work the first time you run it. Whereas like with JavaScript and like Python and stuff like that, you'll run it, you'll find you know you have a type error somewhere like at runtime, and then you have to like write a ton of unit tests that are about the types, like you know this function should accept this type, and it's a bit annoying. With languages like this, you can also have like better compile time guarantees about your inputs. There's a pattern called like the new type pattern where like let's say your function only accepts, you know, non-zero integers, right? You can have a type called non-zero integer, and then your functions can only accept that, and then at compile time, it ensures that you can only pass non-zero integers to this function. Oh, MATLAB? Hate MATLAB. God. I feel like MATLAB is like, I don't know, you use MATLAB in college, and then after that it's like, I don't know. Do people use MATLAB like professional engineer? I don't know. Probably, right? I don't know. Yeah, there was Octave. I think when I was in college, Octave was like not as well developed or like not as compatible. Like when I was in college, you have to like SSH into the school like computers to use MATLAB because they had the license, and it was like weird. So you have to like it was more convenient to go to college, like go to the actual building to do your assignments than it was to do it at home. Because like my school was pretty small. They didn't have like MATLAB like license keys for everyone. But I think if you're doing like data science stuff, usually you'll be using Python with like C libraries. Yeah, like SciPy or NumPy. It depends, yeah. Professional engineers use Excel and maybe... Oh yeah, MATLAB is expensive. It's like... I don't know. It's pricey. I remember like when I was in college, there's this really like funny MATLAB function. Let's see, what was it called? this one. This function. I remember when I went to we had a senior lab in school, and on the whiteboard that we had, someone just like wrote this function name like in really big letters and like, you know, drew a lot of lines pointing at it, and it's like, what the heck is this? And they're like, this is a function in MATLAB. They're like, oh, that's unfortunate. Cumulative trapezoidal numerical integration. Yeah. What can we call it? How about this? Anyway, yeah. There's also a what is it? What is this? AutoCAD. Oh snap. There's an AutoCAD function called oh snap, and just I thought it was funny. Oh snap. Do people use Google spreadsheets professionally? Probably, right? There's probably some people who data scientists who just use Google Sheets. I remember also back then, like, Google Docs wasn't really a thing, and we were using like Google. There was like Open Office, but like, and then there was a LibreOffice fork of it. We had that in college. And people didn't want to pay for actual Microsoft Word. Was Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint ever free to use? I feel like, as long as I can remember, they've always been paid for. There was also, what is it, like Corel? Or like WordPerfect? There's a... What is it, like WordPerfect? Corel WordPerfect? This was like an alternative to Microsoft Word back in the day. I had like a computer. I bought a laptop, and it had WordPerfect pre-installed on it. And I was like, what the heck is this? That was the only time I'd seen it, but apparently it was an alternative to Word that people use sometimes. Yeah, I used OpenOffice when I was in college. And then there was like LibreOffice. So I forgot I was programming. I was supposed to be programming something. Alright, what the heck is this error? What is Solid Edge? Is that a CAD software? I remember when I was in college, we used like AutoCAD and SolidWorks, I think. I made like a cool, what is it, like a motor thing in SolidWorks once for a project. It was like a crank motor where you turned it. That was my only experience with CAD software. Because it was like in college when like everyone, even though you weren't doing like mechanical engineering, everyone had to like take the same courses in their first year. And so we all had to take like CAD design stuff. And I remember using, we had to like physically draw on paper, like a T-square, with like drafting tape and like actual paper. Yeah, it's for mechanical engineering. I've not used MATLAB in a long time. Well, this BGM is pretty short. Wait, I was using this song before. Let's use a different song. I forgot about LaTeX. I had used it for something in college. For like some report or something. But it's been a long time. I considered using it for like my resume. Cause like I used to have my resume like as a Word document and like export it to PDF. But then like as you know, like in Word, formatting is awful. Like you move something slightly and everything gets misaligned. Now I just manage my resume like in a markdown document and I just generate a PDF from that. It doesn't look the best, but kind of doesn't matter. There used to be a thing where like, you know, your resume had to fit on one page and you would like try to desperately make everything fit on one page, but nowadays like when I look at resumes that we get from people applying to our company, like no one has a resume that's one page. Everyone's just like, it's just a PDF file that's as long as it needs to be. And we're like, all right, that's fine. So now I stopped caring about trimming stuff down in my resume to make it fit in one page. Yeah, also nowadays, everything's like electronic, right? You just submit a PDF document. I don't remember the last time I actually got like a physical resume to look at. Yeah, when I first got out of college, I had problem with the, obviously just getting out of college, you don't have any work experience, so you kind of like put like all the courses you took, you put your GPA and stuff like that, and I haven't touched my resume in a long time. Like, I've been at this job for like 6 years, and the last time I updated it was like 6 years ago. And so I was like updating my resume recently, and I was like, there's all this stuff on here about like courses I took in college. It's like 9 years ago at this point, and I'm pretty sure none of it is relevant, so I just like removed a lot of it. You didn't know I was a coder? What? It's on my Twitter profile. I put it, of software engineer as like the first line. Also, a lot of people like, I was looking at my GitHub, not GitHub, so every month Google sends you, if you're like on the Google, not Google Analytics or whatever, they'll send you like results about like your search traffic, like how many people are searching for your website. And I saw that since the Animal Crossing Direct was announced, it got a lot more traffic to my Animal Crossing Town Tune Maker. Like a long time ago, I made this website. I was like, this Animal Crossing Tune Maker in OCaml, and basically it just you can make your own songs. And I saw that since the Animal Crossing Direct, like I got a lot more traffic to this website, which is pretty cool. Wait, was I even showing my was I even showing Firefox? I don't know. I clicked on this. I don't know if I was showing it on screen. The Animal Crossing Tune Maker. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, people just sent. I haven't updated LinkedIn in forever. I also feel like it would be suspicious for like people who have me on LinkedIn. Like, since I never update my LinkedIn profile, if they see that I update my like qualifications on LinkedIn, are they gonna be like, "Is this guy looking for a new job?" So I just don't update my LinkedIn at all. I get like recruiter emails all the time for like technologies that I'm not even interested in. They'll be like, "We saw you programmed JavaScript once. How would you like to be a JavaScript developer?" And I'm like, "Heck no!" But I will never respond to those emails. Yeah, usually I don't. It's always weird. Like, you see people like, I don't know, like CEOs or whatever at your company, they use LinkedIn like all the time. I'm guessing, I wonder if it's like, people who use LinkedIn all the time to make it seem less suspicious when they're like looking for a new job. Just like, if I'm on LinkedIn all the time, my employers won't get suspicious when they see I'm like updating my qualifications. Any job application tips? I don't know much about job application. I mean, from the hiring side, it's a bit different because for a position like at our company where we use Scala primarily as our like programming language, and it's like really hard to find Scala developers. So I don't know if I would have advice necessarily. Just for me personally, I like it when the person, like, because I'm like socially anxious, I don't like talking to strangers for long periods of time. Like, usually when I'm interviewing someone, I'm like really nervous. Like, I'm usually like, I don't know if I have enough questions to take a whole hour. And I think usually your interviewer wants you to succeed. Like, they're hoping that you can pass this interview so you can stop doing interviews. Because no one actually likes being an interviewer, right? It's unpleasant. You have to like judge someone. If you have a lot of stuff to talk about, I guess this depends on your interviewer, but for me personally, if I can ask someone something and they don't just give me like a one word or a one sentence answer, I'd be happier. Because sometimes I'll ask someone something like a question and they'll be like, oh, this is what I'll do. And it's like one sentence long and they don't expand on it. I'll just be like, can you expand on that? But I don't want to just ask them to expand on it. Anyway, I don't know. Just be good at interviewing, I guess. Yeah, also JavaScript development, I would not do it professionally because it changes like so often. I always get requests on LinkedIn of people that I've worked with to like connect with them. And I don't know, I don't even log into LinkedIn. I just get the emails and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna ignore this email. Also, there's like a huge difference between technical interviews and like non-technical interviews. Like people interviewing for, like if you're asking me about programming jobs versus like just working at a movie theater, it's like really different. Yeah. People who use LinkedIn all the time to like actually post stuff, it's kind of concerning. It's like, here's an article from, I don't know, some synergy tips. How to best synergize with your team. Anyway, look, we got it to compile. Compiler errors are gone. And I don't exactly know what I did. It's like really hard to focus when you're streaming. Okay. No, there's no runtime errors. I've checked. The fact that this compiles is enough for me to know that it's gonna work. So if I do this, use tower. So if I try to replace this, instead of send, I'll use client.ready. Okay, I think this does not work the way I want it to. The way that a service works is that I can't the type of the ready call. Alright, this probably doesn't make sense to anyone who does not already know this library. But this is a compiler error, so not something that would affect runtime. What is CRM? Customer Relation Management? I don't know. Custom... Who knows? I could look it up. What is... CRM. Salesforce. I still don't know what Salesforce is. Customer relationship management. There's a building in New York called the Salesforce Tower, and I like used to walk by it sometimes. And I'm just like, I don't know what Salesforce is. Niche business process apps with weird bootleg code languages. What? It's probably better that I don't know what Salesforce is, because it feels like business jargon. Yeah, it's I haven't been there in a long time. Kinokuniya. Man. I remember a long time ago at Kinokuniya, they would have signs that say "Don't take pictures of our books." But I'm pretty sure like no one paid attention to those signs, and they just took pictures of the merch anyway. And so eventually, they probably just gave up and they took down the signs. And you see people taking pictures all the time. Oh yeah, Anime NYC is happening. The last time I went there was like when they were showing Weathering with You, and it was like, I think it was like the first time they were showing it in the East Coast or something, and we watched it there. Oh, they have a sign that says "Be responsible with taking pictures." Probably no one pays attention to that sign. Everyone's just used to being able to take pictures everywhere. I remember when I went to Japan, I know like taking pictures like inside shops is not like, is frowned upon. Because that's not really something people do. Like every store will say don't take pictures or whatever. Which is what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's why Kinokuniya had it in the States, because it's a Japanese company. And so they just kind of assume people should not take pictures. But it's the US, people can do whatever. And we're back to the classic BGM. Oh yeah, the Animal Crossing update came out today, right? I was thinking of like trying it, but I kind of feel like I don't have much interest in Animal Crossing anymore. Just like when I saw the direct, I was thinking like I'd probably get it and try to stream it maybe. Now that I think about it, I'm just like I don't know if I care enough to actually like bother buying it. I like logged back onto Animal Crossing like last week for the first time in like a few months. And I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. But hopefully people have fun with it. I don't think I would really play it myself. It's been like a long time. I feel like most people like played it during the pandemic. I mean, the pandemic is still happening, but like during the beginning of the pandemic. And then they just stopped playing it. I feel like they focus too much on like single player, like island customization stuff. And the stuff that made the older Animal Crossing games fun was like talking to your villagers and having unique dialogue and all that. And in the new Animal Crossing, I feel like, you know, it's not that much of a I don't know how to describe it. I feel like the personality of the villagers is not as interesting. And I'm not too into like island designing. I've actually never played a game in the Sim series. I've watched a few streams of it, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like something that I would play. But also, like, describing Animal Crossing to someone, like before New Horizons, before you could like customize your whole island and stuff like that, the old Animal Crossing games, like, you try to describe what those games are like to someone and it just sounds really boring, right? Oh, you live on an island. Not in a, you live like in a town with villagers. And you talk to them, and it's real time. It's like, okay, what's the gameplay? Oh, you just you dig fossils, you talk to them, talk to villagers, and like that doesn't sound fun, but I don't know, it was fun for a while. I did play SimCity a little bit as a kid though. It's probably like super different from The Sims, but I remember you could like there were like cheat codes you could use to summon like natural disasters. So my cousin and I we would just like build a city and like summon a tornado or like a giant monster or a UFO or something and just destroy the city. We never actually played it the way it was meant to be played. I played a little bit of Grand Theft Auto, like actually maybe even the first like the Grand Theft Auto the first game. I remember when I was a kid, there were like internet cafes around and places where you could buy PCs. And I remember just going into one of them and I saw like a, you know, they had Grand Theft Auto the original game. I think so anyway, I don't know. Or some kind of game that resembled Grand Theft Auto. And as a kid who had never really seen, like, you know, you could run over people when there's blood, I was like, whoa, what is this game? But I've never played Saints Row though. I feel like every time like a streamer or VTuber plays Grand Theft Auto, yes, Grand Theft Auto, I can never really get into it. I mean, like, I'll like leave the stream on in the background, but it just feels all the same to me. I don't know. My friend in high school had Grand Theft Auto. Oh, I keep saying auto wrong. Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto on the PSP, I think, or maybe it was the Vita. And he would bring that to school every day and just play. Grand Theft Audio. Yeehaw. Oh yeah, Liberty City Stories. I don't know, he was always just like running from the cops. He had like a bazooka and he would shoot helicopters or something. I don't know. Didn't really seem that interesting to me, but obviously it's a popular series, so. Anyway, I think the code that I've written does not work in the way that I wanted it to. The types don't resolve the way I wanted them to, and this just doesn't work. I mean, it works. It's just annoying to use. So I might have to just scrap this whole thing. Or like this whole service client implementation. But oh well, now I know I should not do it this way. And for people watching it who had no idea what I just did, that's fine, because you don't need to know. Yeah, the fact that they had a whole GTA on a portable system was pretty impressive. I remember back then, like, the DS, the fact that they had Super Mario 64, like, on the DS, I was like, whoa, you can play 3D games on a handheld? That's amazing. Best Touhou character? My favorite Touhou character is probably Marisa. I don't know, it's been a long time, though, so I don't know. I forgot I was still showing Firefox. I was like highlighting stuff in my editor, and you guys didn't see any of that. Anyway, yeah, this whole implementation, I guess it's not worked the way I wanted it to. So I'll have to think of another way to do it, probably off stream, because I've learned that it's hard to stream and program at the same time and still be like be able to think properly. I don't know. I feel like if I were to do a programming stream, probably something where I know specifically what I want to program, because I don't know, I was just trying things out this time. API design is hard. Maybe not like writing a library, but like writing a front-end app or like a, just, I don't know, something that I can run rather than something that I intend to be a library used by other people. Oh well, alright. Yeah, next time I might play Tetris on stream. I'm still thinking about last time. Tetris was really fun. I kind of want to play it again. So I think for now, I will end the stream because I think there's a Left 4 Dead 2 stream happening. Niji Sanji, Ian. Tetris is always fun. I feel like Tetris Effect was like, it was cool seeing like the different effects. I guess the reason why it's called Tetris Effect is because it has a lot of effects. Welp. Man, but it's like the longer I leave the stream on, the more watch hours I can get. What if I just leave the stream on while I do other stuff? just get all those watch hours? No, that feels like cheating. I remember I bought like there was like a bundle on Steam for a bunch of different GTA games. And I think I bought that and I played like GTA 4 or something and played it for like an hour and just like, I don't know. I don't know. Keyboard ASMR, but you guys can't even hear my keyboard sometimes. Like, I'll be typing and it cuts in and out. I always get confused with GTA 5. Like, GTA 5 is like an online game, but there's also like single player. When did GTA 5 come out? GTA 5. Oh wait, GTA 5 was... It came out 2013? Wait, maybe that was the game I got. It was like a Steam bundle like a long time ago. They just like keep updating GTA 5? Man. Oh, the online... Oh, online is a DLC. Okay. Man, it's just weird because like I don't keep up with GTA, but like I remember playing GTA 5 like when it came out or like shortly after it came out, and then like I'm seeing streamers play it and it looks so different from what I played. I'm just like, is this the same game? Wow. They still keep they keep updating it. Oh, okay. Oh, it got re-released. I see. They okay. Interesting. Yeah, people roleplay in GTA 5. People like, oh, I'm the pawn shop owner, or like whatever. Hover bikes. Oh yeah, that's also one thing about like the games. Like, it came out in 2013, and like smartphones were like, obviously like technology was really different back then. Like, you don't have smartphones in the same way that you do today. I guess they look the same, right? iPhones still existed, but that's always something that's weird about seeing games that were made a while back that are still being updated. The technology has evolved. Because you look back at like old movies, like, you know, you'll have movies that were created like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, but they were like futuristic movies, like they were supposed to take place in like 2050 or whatever. But they have like flip phones. Yeah, the Windows phone, I forgot that was the thing. The iPhone just got larger. Like really big. Phones are so big nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. They just keep adding wacky stuff. Well, I don't know. I think I will just end the stream, maybe. I wonder how much watch hours I got from this stream, because I feel like it's more than I would normally get from some other stream. Call of Duty. I've never really played Call of Duty games. I've never really played a Call of Duty games, plural. I don't know how to talk. Make sure to stay hydrated. I'm gonna drink water right now. Yum, 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 yum. I played, Battlefield. The first one, Battlefield 1942. When it came out. There's like a demo version. That was like one map. It's like winter map. My cousin and I would just play it, the same map over and over. And then Battlefield 2 came out. It was like, why'd you go from Battlefield 1942 to 2? It's like the 1942nd game in the series, and then the second game in the series. You start off with like a big number. Oh, actually, you know what I could do? Is I could use my API to control vtubestudio and have it show up. Oh wait, but I would need to... No, I would need to have authentication correct. Never mind. Wolfie Community GTA 5 roleplay server. Never. Alright, well, Left 4 Dead 2 stream for Niji Sanji EN is happening very soon, so I think I will end the stream. I will, you know what? I will go to the waiting room for... Oh god, the audio is doubled. I will go to this waiting room and just leave it here for like a few minutes, and then I will end the stream. Left 4 Dead 2. Oh, they're playing it with mods. So they got like permission for mods. Secret ending? I don't know, maybe. Alright, I'm gonna mute and then come back in a few minutes and then just end the stream. Just gotta rack up those watch hours. Apex? I played Apex on Switch. I was awful at it. You could tell how bad I am at shooting games. I mean, then again, I was playing it on controller, which is different. Switch because it's PC only and I stream on a Mac. I can't play Windows games. I did get a win on Switch though. I got carried really hard. Alright, see you guys next time, or like in a few minutes when I come back and end the stream. Bootcamp? Yeah, bootcamp is annoying. I don't know. I don't like having to switch back and forth between Mac and Windows. Alright, I'm gonna go, There will be no secret ending. I'm just gonna like leave it on this screen for like a few minutes, come back, not even say anything. Just end the stream. No secret ending. All right, see you guys.